Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Links are in the description below. Please show some love of the author and me. On to the show. When he woke up, Li Xian only felt a little headache. After drinking with his friends last night, he went home and washed a little before going to bed. He really slept until dawn. I sat up and patted my still confused head. Fortunately, I didn't have to go to work this weekend, otherwise I would definitely not be able to get up and ask for leave and my money would be deducted. Workers can't afford to hurt. But when Li Xian opened his eyes and looked at the ceiling, it seemed something was wrong. Li Xian suddenly woke up and jumped up. Not only the ceiling, but also the room is not his own. Could it be that he didn't go home last night but fell asleep at a friend's house? But the style of the room was obviously not at a friend's house. Li Xian was a little stunned. At this moment, a voice came from Li Xian's mind. The host is awake, and now starts to transmit relevant information. Before Li Xian could ask any questions, a bunch of messages suddenly appeared in his mind, making his already drowsy head even more uncomfortable. It took a while for Li Xian to sort out the message in his mind, so he said, "So, I've come to the world of Halberd?" Of course, there was only one person in the room. It wasn't that Li Xian was talking to himself in an abnormal state, but that he was communicating with the system in his mind. "Yes, host, you are right." Hearing the system's words, Li Xian silently opened the curtains of the room, the sunlight came in, and Li Xian also saw the academy that occupies several hills in the distance, Tatsuki Academy. "System, why did you bring me into this world? Although I have been baptized by many novels that traverse the system, in a world where cooking is the best, it seems that I, a guy who only knows ordinary home-cooked food, have nothing to do with it. A place to live." Although it is said that Shokyuchi no Soma has also watched the anime, also known as the Spirit of the King of Medicine, it is natural to come over to learn and pay homage, and the girls in it are also the best, but with their own cooking skills that are not good enough, they must not be very good, and they will be staged when the time comes. A wave of incompetence was caught by that. "Host, please rest assured, this system is a food system, and everything is related to food. With the help of the system, the host will soon be able to gain a firm foothold and set foot on the peak of this world. Become the CEO, marry by Fume, and reach the pinnacle of life?" The food system was left speechless by Li Xian's words. What age is it? And he still said this sentence, is his own host reliable? Now introduce the functions of the food system to the host. Hearing the system's words, Li Xian began to cheer up. This is his gold finger, which is related to his own life. The system consists of the host attribute panel and 6 subfunctions. The 6 subfunctions are automatic decomposition processing machine, super backpack, lottery system, chef space, dimension restaurant, and food world. The following is an introduction to the host. The automatic food decomposition and processing machine, whether it is a plant animal or a microorganism, can complete the cleaning, slaughtering, dividing, grinding, packaging, and other procedures as long as it is put into it, and the final product is obtained according to the host's idea. This one is mainly for the host. Used by the food world. The super backpack has countless grids in it, and the size is set by the host. The food in it will always be at the moment when it is put in, which is an infinite preservation effect, and the size is unlimited. Even if the host wants to put it in the whole world, it is not a problem. Lottery system, you can spend 100,000 yen to draw a lottery. The prizes are mainly Chinese Little Masters, Food Captive World and Shokyuchi no Soma World items, and there is a very small probability of getting other world items. Chef space, exchange at a price of 100,000 yen/day, with unlimited energy, unlimited ingredients, and a time flow rate of 124. The host can infinitely improve cooking skills in it. Dimension restaurant, receive customers from Otherworld every Sunday. The host has the right to add the other party to the blacklist. Everyone in the Dimension restaurant limits their strength, and each customer receives 1 lottery. Food world, the host will get food and captivate the world. There are no characters in it, whether it is the protagonist and supporting passers-by in the original work, only all kinds of animals and plants are left, and the time flow rate is also 124. The currently unlocked subfunctions are the chef space, the lottery system, the super backpack, and the automatic food decomposition and processing machine. Li Xian, who is familiar with all kinds of system novels, quickly clarified that these functions are not complicated, they all exist to assist him. The concept of dimensional restaurant is certainly not unfamiliar. Although it has not been opened yet, it certainly makes me happy to be able to receive people from all over the world. It is also good that the food world belongs to himself. Although it has not been activated, Li Xian has regarded it as his own property. No one is a world of his own, and the resources are all his own. What's more, if there are people, they will meet people in this world, and a lot of things will happen. Li Xian is not willing, and Li Xian can't even beat the little guys in the anime now. It is really difficult to meet. Uncle? Li Xian said it was impossible, but now this food world is dark in Li Xian's perception. After all, it has not been activated. After the activation, Li Xian wants to truly become the master of the food world. That is, the existence of heaven like this world is not a success all at once. It is necessary for him to conquer and occupy one place by place, just like Li Xian played Plants vs. Zombies 2 before. The standard for completing the raid is that Li Xian considers the raid complete after he has defeated the highest and most powerful creatures in this area. The food world is bigger than Blue Star, so when Li Xian arrives at a new location, he will have a little bit of information about the overlord of the area. And Li Xian does not need to completely conquer the food world to be able to control it, but to control as much as he can. Now that he has obtained the world of food, Li Xian himself has naturally obtained what can be called a treasure in this world, that is, the food cell. But now Li Xian's gourmet cells are only level 0. If he wants to officially open, that is, level 1, he needs to enter the world of gourmet food and eat any kind of unique animals and plants. But this one is not in a hurry, nor is it in a hurry. After all, the food world has not been activated, and Li Xian himself needs to be prepared before entering. Gourmet cells are cells extracted from the dreamy jellyfish inhabiting the deep sea by Acacia, the god of food. Combining with people makes people gain overwhelming power and become superhuman, and the strength will be upgraded with the continuous taste of food. Of course, Li Xian's food cells are naturally the most perfect, without any side effects. For example, he is not like a Lu who ingests endless food every day, while being controlled by the food devil in his body. By the way, where's my novice gift bag? Li Xian suddenly said to the system that there must be a novice gift package as standard with the system. May I ask if the host has opened the novice gift package? Open. Isn't the system asking for nothing? Li Xian followed the process silently after that. Congratulations to the host for winning dozens of lottery draws, 1 restaurant decoration opportunity, 1 million yen in money, proficient in island language, 3 days in the chef space, and 1 Hankrilla Island. Oh, there is something in this novice gift package. 10 lucky draws are 1 million yen. 1 chance to decorate the restaurant is also money. Afterwards, there is a direct reward of 1 million yen as startup capital. The system is really considerate. Being proficient in island language is also a necessity. After all, I don't know the language that I can live well in my childhood, and this is also a necessity in the god of cooking space. I'm not the kind of person who doesn't touch the spring water with his hands, but at the level of ordinary home-cooked food, he still has to go to a wave of further studies, which saves another 300,000 yen. As for the final Keira Island, Li Xian felt like he had hit the jackpot. System, is this Hankrilla Island the one I thought it was? That's right, this Hankrilla Island is the Hankrilla Island that you think the host wants. Having been affirmed by the system, Li Xian couldn't help but waved his fist in front of him excitedly. Why he was so excited, it was naturally because Keira Island was an island in the food world. As mentioned earlier, Li Xian now has a gourmet cell, but it can only be activated with the exclusive food of the gourmet world. He thought he had to wait slowly, but the system sent a big gift package first. Li Xian is not in a hurry to use the 10 lucky draw chances. Now let's take a look at his own territory. This 3-story building is the place where the system gifted Li Xian. Li Xian walked out the door and checked the layout. There are 6 rooms on the 3rd floor, including Li Xian's room. On the 2nd floor, there is a kitchenette, dining room, and a living room. The rest are 2 bedrooms. The upper 2 floors are fully furnished and furnished, while the 1st floor is empty, with an area of about 200 square meters. This is right at the back for Li Xian to decorate as a restaurant. There is also a small garden with dozens of square meters behind the small building. Li Xian also has plans here. The food engraved in the DNA of the Dadian dynasty, people will open his own restaurant, so the farming talent will be arranged in this small backyard. When the back is free, put a layer of soil on the roof, and the vegetable garden on the roof will not be spared. Li Xian toured his territory with great satisfaction. Isn't this much better than his previous life? There is no mortgage pressure, such a large house is all my own. The identity that the system assigned to Li Xian is that he bought the house from the original owner a few days ago and just moved in, so there is not much interpersonal communication to pay attention to. After reading it, Li Xian went back to his room to lie down and said to the system, "Use my 10 draws." Congratulations to the host for getting a common kitchen knife, golden egg fried rice recipe. Thank you for your patronage, magic mapo tofu recipe, fried xinjiang recipe, wild tofu, green pepper shredded pork recipe, burgundy red wine stewed beef recipe. Thank you for your patronage, a bottle of cola asterisk. Looking at the prizes in the lottery, Li Xian doesn't know if he will be European or African when he arrives. Should he say it is average? Golden egg fried rice, magic mapo tofu, stir-fried xinjiang vegetables, shredded pork with green peppers, beef stewed in burgundy red wine, all the proper novice recipes are ready. As for the rest of the prizes, that is, the wild tofu has passed. This is also an ingredient in the food world. According to the system, as long as I draw the ingredients, I can basically use it indefinitely. Others, it can only be said that it is very unsatisfactory. I didn't expect that you, the thick-eyed guy in the system, would thank you for your patronage and won it twice. The rest of the ordinary kitchen knives are piled up in the kitchen, and there are cokes. What about the money to buy coke? Li Xian took out the coke from the system space. The blue packaging is his favorite, and the red one is heresy. There are still small water droplets on it, and it feels cold to the touch, as if he had just taken it out of the freezer. Li Xian just happened to be a little thirsty after walking around. It was just right. Please give the system a good review. Lying in bed, Li Xian stared at the ceiling and began to think about the next arrangement. Now he has to do a few things. The first thing is to use the 3-day chef space obtained from the novice gift package to learn the 5 recipes that have just been obtained, so that we can continue to open the store. The second thing is to enter Hankrilla Island and get food to activate the gourmet cells. In this world, people who are unfamiliar with their own life, only strength can make them feel at ease. This priority is the first. There is a bug in the middle, that is, Li Xian won the wild tofu in the lottery. According to the principle, it is possible, but the pit system does not allow it. Now the exchange of wild tofu is locked, otherwise Li Xian would not have to enter the food world at all. Can be activated. However, Li Xian is not thinking about entering the food world right now. First, he must be fully prepared as mentioned before. Entering the food world is a physical entry, not a conscious entry, so he can't joke about his own life. You must know that in the food world, even if the capture level is 1, only 10 professional hunters with guns can barely capture it. With your own small body, you should be careful before activating the gourmet cells. The third thing can be done together with the first thing, that is to use the restaurant decoration opportunity presented by the system to decorate the first floor. The fourth thing is to do it when the first 3 things are completed, that is, to find a fixed supplier of ingredients. After all, if you open a store by yourself, you will be alone, and you will definitely not have enough time to buy vegetables every day. Then a supplier with good quality and a price that is not too high is needed. It is only 1 million yen to open the funds by yourself. Don't look too much. If you change it to Tianqiao coin, it is only 5 points and 5. At present, it is these 4 things. I need to eat one bite at a time, and I need to do everything one by one. Li Xian is not the kind of person who is very ambitious. Next, make some preparations for the above plan. By the way, the system, open my property panel. I've seen all 6 subfunctions, but I haven't seen the property panel yet. Name, Li Xian. Chef star, 1-star chef. Gourmet cell, level 00%. Food devil, none. Food world, Hankarila Island, 0%. Recipe, golden egg fried rice, magic mapo tofu, stir-fried Xinjiang vegetables, shredded pork with green peppers, beef stewed with burgundy red wine. Props, a common kitchen knife. Super backpack, none. Subsystem, automatic decomposition and processing machine, super backpack, lottery system, chef space, dimension restaurant, unlocked, food world, unlocked. Looking at the translucent light curtain floating in front of his eyes, Li Xian did not speak, and most of the above didn't say much, mainly the chef star. It's not that I feel that I'm a 1-star chef now, but I'm a little surprised. I thought I was even a low-level chef, but I didn't expect to be able to give a 1-star rating. Li Xian is not worried, he is a food lover and likes to cook. Before crossing the road, when friends and family members smiled and praised the food he cooked, it was his happy moment. Isn't it my dream to be able to realize my childhood dream of becoming a chef now? Li Xian's second night in this world. In the room, Li Xian went to the bathroom to take a simple shower. All the shampoo and shower gel were useless. The reason was that he planned to enter the food world tonight. You must know that the guys in the food world are too sensitive to smell. Li Xian doesn't want to wash his own fragrance and go in to give a blood. Dry your hair, change into the wear-resistant camouflage clothes you bought at a night market, a sharp and shiny tang knife, and a backpack. Call. Li Xian took a deep breath and lay on the bed, holding the knife wrapped in cloth tightly in his left hand, and the strap of his backpack in his right hand. Li Xian said silently in his heart. Enter. Asterisk. After a change and the darkness dissipated, Li Xian came to a small southern island with lush vegetation. As for how to know it was a southern island, he said earlier that the information that appeared in his mind was Hankrilla Island. Looking up at the sun that was constantly emitting light and heat, and the forehead that had just started to sweat for a while, it was clear. Li Xian first observed the surrounding vigilantly, and found that his current position was the outer beach of this island. This made Li Xian temporarily relieved, and the information in his mind also made Li Xian temporarily let go of his hanging heart, and Li Xian still had an impression on Hankrilla Island. This is the small island that Luffy and the others encountered in the special chapter. It can be said that this small island is a huge desert, but it is now hidden. Although he knew the true face of the island, Li Xian didn't plan to do it. He had to know that the current state of Hankrilla Island was the most suitable state for his current situation, and it was also the most cost-effective state. The highest level on this island is the Doskafli Koala, but it is only a capture level of 5, which means that Hankarila Island is actually the most suitable island for Li Xian's early development. No one. However, although the Doskafli Koala is said to be the existence with the highest capture level on Hankira Island, there is also a Hankrilla bird with a capture level of 3 that is powerful in combat. Li Xian untied the knife that was only wrapped in cloth, and carried the backpack behind him. What he has to do next is to carefully enter the island to get the plants unique to the food world. Now there are ordinary and normal tropical plants on the periphery of the beach, and they are still plants in the normal world. In the special chapter of the linkage, Luffy and the others also entered the island and found the unique plants in the food world. Li Xian clenched the knife in his hand, and was surrounded by vigilant onlookers as he walked forward. Fortunately, Li Xian did not encounter any animals until he reached the place where he found the delicacy plants. Looking at the open space in front of him and the unique food plants growing in the open space, Li Xian couldn't help feeling a little excited. Only the last step. But the more excited, the more it got to the last minute, Li Xian knew that he couldn't be more excited. He took a few deep breaths and went back and forth, and Li Xian shot. Taking out the prepared food bag from his backpack, his first target was grass, yes, the weeds that can be seen everywhere on the roadside. But here, the weeds that grow are white spaghetti with just the right heat. Li Xian filled almost a full bag before switching to another plant, marshmallow mushroom, which is also a plant growing on the side, a plant loved by Chopper in the original book. The marshmallows are huge in size, but actually have little quality. Li Xian also collected a food bag. Starting with 2 kinds of plant food, Li Xian felt a little relieved. After all, the information he got at the beginning was that after trying the unique animals and plants in the food world, he could open the food cell. Even so, Li Xian was afraid that the one in his hand could not be activated, or that the quality and quantity were not enough, so he decided to take a risk. Tie the bag of pasta and marshmallows to the backpack. Li Xian set his sight on the barbecue tree that was born in the middle of the open space. Yes, it is the barbecue tree that subverts people's imagination. It is obviously a plant, with leaves, fruits, and flowers. There is nothing at all, the branches are full of roasted meat. However, this move must be careful, not to mention Li Xian's heart, but now Li Xian's strength is entirely due to the existence of the bottom of the food chain in Hangara Island. The existence of a barbecue tree means that there will definitely be roasted whole pigs nearby. After all, the roasted meat tree can be said to have grown on the carcass of roasted whole pigs. Their catch level is 1, and now Li Xian is just a dish in their eyes. The sense of smell of these guys can be said to be very sensitive, so Li Xian wants to fight quickly, and his chosen target is a barbecue tree closest to him. Fight! As soon as Li Xian gritted his teeth, he rushed towards the target. Fortunately, the barbecue trees were generally not very tall, so Li Xian could touch it as long as he stretched out his hand. Li Xian quickly cut 3 pieces of barbecued meat from the tree whose trunk was a bone, with the knife in his hand, bagged it, turned around and left, without any pause. Li Xian quickly returned along the original road, left here, and found a suitable place for him to hide and start awakening the food cells to complete the final step. As for the hiding place, Li Xian had already found it on the way he had just arrived. It was not a cave, but a tree hole, which was just enough to accommodate him. According to the mark he made on the tree when he came, Li Xian only took 1/3 of the time to reach the tree hole. This is a dead tree with leaves long ago, but it is just right for Li Xian. Li Xian bent down and entered the inside. Li Xian had already cleaned it up briefly, and then piled up the weeds that had been pulled up in front of the tree hole for a simple camouflage. The conditions were limited and that was the only way. As for why he chose a safe place, Li Xian didn't know what happened when he woke up. If he caught the attention of the predators here, Li Xian would be cold. Asterisk. It wasn't until now that he sat down and there was no danger around him, Li Xian realized that his back was already sweating. I have to say that this was really exhausting. However, this journey was full of surprises, and it was carried out in full accordance with Li Xian's script, and then it was time to enter the harvest. Li Xian excitedly placed the 3 kinds of food in front of him. There were gaps in the tree hole, and the light penetrated through these gaps, so the tree hole would not appear particularly dim and could still be seen. I'm gonna start now, Li Xian imitated a Lu and said with his hands clasped together. Then he held spaghetti in his left hand, a large piece of barbecued meat, and marshmallows in the middle. It can be said that it is a staple meat dish and dessert. A mouthful of barbecue, a mouthful of noodles, and a marshmallow at the end, this life is simply too beautiful. The springy teeth of the pasta, the mellow and juicy roast meat, and the sweetness of the marshmallows at the end. Let Li Xian, who usually doesn't have a particularly big appetite, completely wipe out the pile of food in front of him. It's best not to feel too overwhelmed. Ah. Comfortable. Usually Li Xian can be regarded as a foodie, but because he is shy, he has no choice but to stop. Today is a good time to eat, and this kind of life will not be less in the future. After eating and drinking, Li Xian stopped to remember his original business. There was no way, the food was so delicious that he couldn't stop. Li Xian sank his mind into his body, knowing that if he wants to awaken the food cells, he only needs to confirm his mind. Of course, he is sure. Isn't that what he came here for? Sure. Li Xian is thinking about his life after becoming a superhuman being. With the awakening of his food cells, the energy he just ate circulated throughout his body. Pain. Itch. Li Xian is like being devoured by 10,000 ants. That kind of pain is simply a test of one's physical ability to endure the limit. The cells in his body are constantly cheering and cheering, absorbing the energy they have ingested, and they are constantly changing. With Li Xian's whole body crackling, the awakening was finally over. Li Xian opened his eyes were full of joy, feeling the power in his blood. Li Xian lifted the weeds used to cover the hole and walked out. Through the sloping mottled sunlight, it can be seen that Li Xian's body shape has changed somewhat, and the whole person now gives a sense of streamline. It's not like the West's burly and fleshy body, but like a cheetah. It can be said that it is the kind that strips and wears fleshy clothes to make it look thinner. The current Li Xian can be said to have an extraordinary physique. Just look at his current panel. Name, Li Xian. Chef star, 1-star chef. Gourmet cell, level 10%. Food devil, none. Food world, Hankara Island, 0%. Recipe, golden egg fried rice, magic mapo tofu, stir-fried Xinjiang vegetables, shredded pork with green peppers, beef stewed with burgundy red wine. Props, a common kitchen knife. Super backpack, none. Subsystem, automatic decomposition and processing machine, super backpack, lottery system, chef space, dimension restaurant, unlocked, food world, unlocked. It can be said that Li Xian was able to really activate this panel, compared to when he just started. Seeing that the original level 00% has become 0% level 1, Li Xian couldn't help smiling, although it was only a number change. But Li Xian shook his powerful palm and felt that he was now almost able to blow the air every second. It was not a problem to blow the hill with one punch. Li Xian feels that he is full of self-confidence now, but he also knows that it is impossible for him to reach this level. At this level, what are you thinking about? How many dishes? Drinking such a high level? Thinking about the existence of thousands of levels behind, Li Xian's originally agitated heart gradually calmed down. He doesn't have many advantages. Self-knowledge is the obvious one, and the other is prudence. Next, it's time to go hunting. Of course, the goal is to roast a whole pig of the same level as yourself. Li Xian is a man with ideas and plans, but he is also a food hunter who has just started, so he has no attack skills or hunting awareness. Therefore, he can only accumulate and learn little by little. But it doesn't matter, Li Xian has time, anyway. The ratio of 1 to 24 is placed here, which is not a problem. Li Xian put the backpack he had brought into the super backpack and went into battle lightly. The target he was looking for now was to roast a whole pig. It was also through this time that he became acquainted with the skyrocketing power. You must know that his current power has increased by 9 times compared to before his awakening. Li Xian is constantly moving through the woods. Although roasted whole pig is a creature in the food world, compared to the original comic book author, when designing this kind of creature, he has borrowed a lot of the habits of prototype creatures in the real world. For example, the habit of roasting whole pigs living in the woods is similar to that of wild boars in reality, and with the improvement of physical fitness, both vision and hearing have been greatly improved. Constantly moving forward and exploring carefully, Li Xian heard the hum from the jungle ahead. He knew that the target he was looking for had been found. If you're enjoying my content, please consider donating a coffee. Or checking out my shirts on TeePublic. Appearing in front of Li Xian were 7 roasted whole pigs, 2 big and 5 small. It seemed that they were a roasted whole pig family. Li Xian looked at it, and the 2 adult roasted whole pigs were rated 1, while the 5 small roasted whole pigs were rated below 1. This ability is attached to the system, and it can tell Li Xian the name and level of the observation, nothing else, very simple. I'm going to hit 7. This is not something Li Xian can do now. An adult roasted whole pig is enough for him, let alone 2 plus 5 small ones. So Li Xian's plan is to kill the 2 big ones first, and the remaining 5 small ones will be easy to deal with soon. But how to separate them is a problem, with food. Roast whole pigs like to eat monster truffles and herbs the most, but I don't have monster truffles or herbs, so this way doesn't work. Li Xian is not in a hurry to launch an attack, he has to figure out a way. By the way, didn't I bring that thing? Li Xian suddenly remembered what he put in his backpack when he entered the food world. With Li Xian's thoughts, the firecrackers he prepared before appeared in the open space in front of him. That's right, firecrackers. Originally, Li Xian prepared firecrackers to prevent him from getting ingredients when he was not awake. When the creatures found them, he could ignite them to buy time for himself. After all, the sudden explosion and fire would definitely stop the beasts. In the end, I didn't expect the awakening process to be so smooth, so these firecrackers would not be used, but isn't this the right time? Firecrackers can make roasted whole pigs run around. Now that the decision has been made, Li Xian will do it. Anyway, if it's a big deal to leave the food world, you can't hurt me. After choosing an electro-optical cannon, he lit the lead with the lighter he brought in, aimed at the middle of the 7 roasted whole pigs, and threw it. Crackling. The sudden loud noise made the 7 roasted whole pigs panic. At the same time, there was also the smell of gunpowder smoke, the constant flickering firelight, and the firecrackers that splattered everywhere when the firecrackers exploded, although the damage was not high. But the level of fright is max. Of course, Li Xian wouldn't stop just like that. The electro-optical cannon just now burned out in 10 seconds, so he continued to fire a super long cannonball with a large hanging, at least 1 minute. Crack! Crack! Come on, the electro-optical cannons that had not yet been completely burned out and the gun battle this time, the 7 roasted whole pigs were completely panicked, and they scattered around in a panic. Hum hum. The 7 roasted whole pigs were divided into 4 waves. One wave consisted of only 1 adult roasted whole pig. All that's left is a single small roasted whole pig. Guess where Li Xian will go? That is naturally the only adult roasted whole pig, and I still think, as for why it is easier not to choose 3 small ones or 1 small one, that is, we usually say that persimmons are soft. One is that now the route has reached level 1 anyway, so there is no training to catch these small roasted whole pigs. Second, a single roasted whole pig like this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, singled out, solo, why not do it? The third is to consider the issue of the awakening of gourmet cells. If you want to deepen the awakening of gourmet cells, it is natural to eat things with high food grades and good taste. Compared with the adult roasted whole pig, the small roasted whole pig is of lower grade and the meat quality is not so good, so there is no need to choose it. Having said so much, it only took a second or two. Li Xian chased the direction of the adult roasted whole pig who had just left alone. Along the way, it can be seen that this whole roasted pig was really frightened by Li Xian's firecrackers. Look at the broken trees and the rotten bushes on the way, and you will know this roasted pig. How big is the psychological shadow area of the whole pig? There is no way. This is the first time that Zhuxing who wants to come to this roasted whole pig has encountered firecrackers, and they put them on his skin, which is a test of his psychological endurance. Li Xian followed all the way. Although the roasted whole pig looked very large, the speed was flexible, but not slow. Li Xian was only slower than 10 seconds to follow. However, after following the trail for about 5 minutes, he did not catch up with the roasted whole pig. It was not until he finally left the jungle and came to the outer beach that he saw the whole roasted pig standing there panting. But this beach is not where Li Xian first came, but somewhere else. The scenery here is good. Since I chose this place as my first opponent, then I will help you fulfill your wish. The blue water, the salty sea breeze blowing slightly, the fine sandy beach, come on, the burial place of the roasted whole pig has been chosen. Li Xian grinned and walked towards the poor roasted whole pig, holding the knife. As mentioned earlier, roasted whole pigs have a keen sense of smell, so when Li Xian came out of the jungle, this roasted whole pig could smell him. Turning around and staring fiercely at Li Xian, he was still in shock and was furious. The weak little guy in front of him was sent to the door to vent himself. Li Xian looked at the behemoth in front of him. He had to say that he was still a little nervous. Before he crossed over, he just killed chickens and fishes, and his combat experience was almost zero. The appearance of roasted whole pigs has certain similarities with ordinary wild boars, such as the sharp tusks and stubby limbs, but there are also differences. For example, the orange-yellow eyeballs, the blood-red scars outside the eye sockets, and the purple hair covering the whole body. The body part is the grilled pork chops that are just right. Li Xian already tastes the meaty aroma, which is very tempting. Li Xian feels like his saliva is about to flow out. I have to say that after implanting gourmet cells, it can be said that there is a pursuit from the depths of cells for gourmet food. The roasted whole pig in front of him is not easy to deal with, and has a bouncing power that does not match its size. At the same time, it can't be delayed for too long, otherwise, after provoking it, the grilled steak that is just right will become burnt. Forget it, no matter what it is, let's go. Li Xian gritted his teeth, and the whole roasted pig was sprinting towards him now. He didn't want Alu to be able to knock it out with one punch, so he could only grind it. Leaning to the side to dodge the sprint of the whole roasted pig, the knife in his hand made a wound on the neck of the roasted whole pig that could see the bones. But what came out of the roasted whole pig was not blood, but the steaming barbecue sauce. Smelling the smell, Li Xian felt his stomach was hungry again. And Li Xian's action on roasting the whole pig is undoubtedly adding fuel to the fire. Looking at its fierce eyes, Li Xian thinks it's better to fight quickly, otherwise such a good roast is really burnt. Thinking about it, Li Xian took a good chance and stamped his feet heavily, then dodged the roasted whole pig's attack head-on, and stepped on the roasted whole pig's head, constantly deepening the wound he just caused. The pain made the roasted whole pig even more crazy, and he kept shaking his head, trying to throw Li Xian down, but Li Xian stood firmly on top. Later, I found out that I didn't believe it, so the whole roasted pig started its own self-mutilation attack, constantly hitting the trees, trying to make Li Xian get off it. However, it was completely solved by Li Xian, who is now physically fit. During this period, Li Xian became more and more proficient in the control of his body, with soaring strength. The roasted whole pig jumped around, which accelerated the blood circulation of the whole body, and also accelerated its death. Boom! 2 minutes later, this whole roasted pig finally ended its tragic life. Seeing the whole roasted pig in front of him, which weighed several tons, fell down, Li Xian was relieved. Thus ended the first battle. For my current self, although there are many tricks in this process, as long as the result is good, the process is not that important. The whole roasted pig is collected into the automatic processing and decomposing tool, and the work such as cleaning and dividing is carried out. Finally, it is put into the backpack and it is a completely processed roasted whole pig. Leaving the messy battlefield just now, Li Xian jumped on the trunk of a big tree, looked at the beautiful scenery in the distance, removed the fragrant barbecue steak from the super backpack, put on disposable gloves. This is also prepared one of the props. After all, Li Xian can be regarded as a man with a little bit of cleanliness. Considering the issue of washing hands with water, and Hankrilla Island, think that even the river water is cream, and the geysers are hot chocolate. Grabbing the neatly sliced barbecue steak with both hands, Li Xian took a bite. The tender meat on the outside was chewing continuously in his mouth, and the delicious gravy splashed out from the steak, filling his entire mouth. Sure enough, Alu's evaluation is not a lie. It has a fragrant high-grade fat and an appetite-inducing vanilla flavor, which is simply irresistible. This should be the reason why roasted whole pigs eat herbs and monster truffles. Vanilla flavor and light truffle flavor, it's the finishing touch of barbecue steak, delicious. Yummy! Yummy! Li Xian sat cross-legged on the branch and ate the steak in huge mouthfuls. He couldn't stop. Delicious food and beautiful scenery are just one more beautiful woman, but it doesn't matter if she is beautiful or not. Anyway, Li Xian is now immersed in the world of meat steak, and she is so beautiful. Li Xian ate for half an hour before he stopped his mouth. The reason was no other, but his stomach couldn't hold it. He is not a super big eater like Ollie and Luffy. Although he said that he ate it for half an hour, Li Xian only ate dozens of pounds of steak, and there were no other side effects except for a slight bulge in his stomach. No way, as soon as these steaks enter the stomach, they will become a burst of energy under the action of the gourmet cells, and will not occupy too much space, and the energy consumed just after the battle has also been replenished. After taking out a bottle of mineral water from the super backpack, Li Xian opened his current panel to see how much he had improved by eating this time. Name, Li Xian. Chef star, 1-star chef. Gourmet cell, level 19%. Food devil, none. Food world, Keira Island, 0%. Recipe, golden egg fried rice, magic mapo tofu, stir-fried Xinjiang vegetables, shredded pork with green peppers, beef stewed with burgundy red wine. Props, a common kitchen knife. Super backpack, roasted whole pig, roast, mushroom marshmallows, pasta. Subsystem, automatic decomposition and processing machine, super backpack, lottery system, chef space, dimension restaurant, unlocked, food world, unlocked. Looking at the 9% progress on the panel, Li Xian couldn't help but feel a little happy. He only ate a few tenths of a roasted whole pig and he has improved so much. Wouldn't he just do it a dozen times? Just think about this kind of thing. Li Xian knew in his heart that it was impossible. This time, the progress was so fast because it was the first time I came into contact with roasted whole pigs, and although this roasted whole pig was said to be level 1, it was definitely uncomfortable for me to be at the lowest level of level 1. So it's unknown if Li Xian will eat half of this whole roasted pig, but Li Xian naturally agrees with both hands and feet. Okay, after eating and drinking, it's time to move on. Li Xian stood up and stretched, intending to continue his hunting work, but this time he would also gather some other food. For example, some mushroom marshmallows, pasta, and meat from the barbecue tree, etc. in the front. One is to enrich the variety of food, and the other is that it can also be used as ingredients in your own store or sold directly. After all, I am a poor man now. In the next few hours, Li Xian continued to follow his plan, and caught an adult roasted whole pig and a small roasted whole pig at the back. I don't know if it was the two running ahead. At the same time, he also put a lot of barbecued meat, mushroom marshmallows, and pasta into his super backpack, as well as Chopper's favorite inayuri, which can treat any stomach pain after taking the decoction. During this period, Li Xian also encountered a horned bear and caught a horned bear with a level of 2. As for him, who is still a newbie, he left after seeing it from a distance. After all, these guys are not only higher in level than themselves, but also live in groups. As for the appearance of these one-horned bears, they are like ordinary brown bears, but there is a single purple horn on their forehead. The flesh of the whole body is extremely hard, and the dark brown fluff is extremely powerful. It is about 5 meters high and the speed is not slow. After a few hours, Li Xian was also exhausted, not only physically, although he had meat steaks to replenish his energy, but the nerves that had been tense all the time were exhausting. Li Xian finally ended his actions and silently said, "Go back." The next second, after darkness, he returned to the hotel in front of him. Li Xian lay quietly on the bed for 10 minutes before getting up to wash. As for what I thought about these 10 minutes, to be honest, I didn't think about anything, but completely let myself go. It was so tiring. After a hot bath, Li Xian felt a lot more comfortable, so he had time and energy to check his gains. Properties panel. Name, Li Xian. Chef star, 1-star chef. Gourmet cell, level 111%. Food devil, none. Food world, Keira Island, 3%. Recipe, golden egg fried rice, magic mapo tofu, stir-fried Xinjiang vegetables, shredded pork with green peppers, beef stewed with burgundy red wine. Props, a common kitchen knife. Super backpack, roasted whole pig, roasted suckling pig, roasted meat, mushroom marshmallow, inayuri grass, spaghetti, and some sundries. Subsystem, automatic decomposition and processing machine, super backpack, lottery system, chef space, dimension restaurant, unlocked, food world, unlocked. Li Xian didn't expect that the small roasted whole pig would appear to be roasted suckling pig after entering the super backpack, but it is logical to think about it. The big one is called roast whole pig, and the small one is called roast suckling pig. As for the other items, this is what Li Xian got this time. It is worth mentioning that the tang knife that Li Xian brought in this time has come to an end. It almost broke from the middle. As for why it was like this, it was also because the roast suckling pig didn't pay attention when waving the knife at it, thinking it was similar to roasting a whole pig. As a result, the force used up, and the knife directly slashed the stone on the ground. With Li Xian now awakened to the power of gourmet cells, this tang knife can be said to be extraordinarily fragile, and the tip of the knife almost hurt Li Xian himself. The tang knife that was broken in half is still in the super backpack. This is one of the reasons for Li Xian's return. I can only say that I hope that a suitable knife can be drawn in the next lottery. After all, the real world is just an ordinary world. This trip to Li Xian can be regarded as a lack of success. First of all, the food cells have awakened, and they have reached the level of 11% at level 1, which is 2% higher than the first time using roasted whole pork, which is in line with Li Xian's own conjecture. The second is the things gained in the super backpack. I will not list them one by one, and the awareness of fighting has been exercised. Just now, Li Xian found his sharp eyes in the bathroom mirror, and slowly subsided. This is something he did not have before. As for the last one, the development of Keira Island has reached 3%. Li Xian is also very satisfied. Since once, he is still a cute little boy. It's okay, it's really okay. The next day at 10:45 in the morning. The room where Li Xian was, originally had the curtains closed and the door was locked, and suddenly a troubled boy appeared in the room. That's right, this is our pig's feet, classmate Li Xian. Hoo, really unlucky, I didn't expect to encounter a trumpet lion. Li Xian, who woke up early in the morning and had something to eat, once again entered the food world to replenish his inventory while he still had time. It was very smooth at the beginning, until Li Xian unfortunately encountered a trumpet lion patrolling the territory. You must know that this is a creature with capture level 4. It can obtain this level not because of its physical quality, but because of its sonic attack, that is, the lion's roar. Fortunately, Li Xian avoided the opportunity. Even so, his ears were still buzzing. But it's not that there is no gain, presumably that guy is so angry now, ha. I couldn't help laughing when I thought that before I finally left, I had smothered the trumpet lion and cut a large piece of the main cake on its neck. Next comes the routine washing up, especially the tattered clothes that have to be changed. By the way, I forgot to mention the harvest of Li Xian's entry into the food world this time. Name, Li Xian. Chef star, 1-star chef. Gourmet cell, level 1 17%. Food devil, none. Food world, Keira Island, 7%. Recipe, golden egg fried rice, magic mapo tofu, stir-fried Xinjiang vegetables, shredded pork with green peppers, beef stewed with burgundy red wine. Props, a common kitchen knife. Super backpack, roasted whole pig, roasted suckling pig, roasted meat, mushroom marshmallow, inayuri grass, spaghetti, horned lion's mane cake, wild tofu, and a few other miscellaneous items. Subsystem, automatic decomposition and processing machine, super backpack, lottery system, chef space, dimension restaurant, unlocked, food world, unlocked. The reason why Li Xian's food cell awakening level has increased by 6% this time is naturally because of the trumpet lion's mane cake, which is the food on level 4 creatures. Although Li Xian's equipment was broken into 2 halves, the half with the hilt can still be used, while the tip of the other half was found by Li Xian in Keira Island to find a wooden stick and tied it with vines. Made a long hair not like a spear, a big knife not like a big knife equipment. But now it's all rolled up completely and can't be used anymore. Li Xian will deal with it later. After entering the food world yesterday and activating the food cells, the wild tofu from the previous lottery was also put into the super backpack for Li Xian to use. The first of the 4 things that were originally formulated has been completed, and the rest are restaurant decoration and cooking skills, which are more urgent. Now I only have the 1 million yen that the system donated at the beginning, and the use of the sub-functions of the system costs money. When can I use the functions of the system wantonly if I can't get in and out? System, I want to use the opportunity of restaurant decoration. At this time, dozens of restaurant decoration plans appeared in front of Li Xian, and Li Xian almost dazzled his eyes. In the end, Li Xian did not choose those European style, Japanese style, or luxurious. He chose a small and fresh Chinese style, mainly warm colors. There are also many green plants in the restaurant. Purifying air. The largest one is Li Xian's transparent kitchen, which occupies 2/5 of the restaurant. In fact, only Li Xian, a chef, does not need such a large kitchen, but Li Xian likes to leave room for the future in everything he does. In this world where food is the top priority, when the business is booming, you will definitely not be able to do it alone. Maybe you will accept a few apprentices or recruit a few help cooks, otherwise, you will be busy yourself. As for saying that your restaurant will not be popular, is it too early to say? With the help of the system, it can't be done, then Li Xian has really lost the face of hundreds of millions of travelers, so let's hang on to the southeast branch. For the remaining more than 100 square meters, Li Xian only arranged 15 sets of tables and chairs, all 4-person tables, but these tables and chairs can also be put together into a large table. In fact, if you want more tables and chairs, the system is fully capable of making unlimited use of the space, but Li Xian doesn't like the feeling of being very crowded. I am indeed short of money, but I am not short of money. If I really want money, if I don't say anything else, it is enough to directly sell the ingredients of the food world and become the richest man in the world. No one can refuse those foods with magical effects in the food world. With Li Xian's strength, no one can do anything to him. But Li Xian felt that it was unnecessary. There was no need to make himself busy for money. He had already passed through. What he should do should be to enjoy life. Moreover, Li Xian didn't plan to follow the path of small profits, but quick turnover in his restaurant, from the beginning. With his own craftsmanship and ingredients from the gourmet world, it is a fool to set low prices. Not to mention that there is still a dimensional restaurant waiting to be opened. Li Xian will not be short of money by then, so everything is slow, and there is no death chasing him with a sickle behind him. The renovation of the restaurant took 3 days, and as Li Xian decided on the renovation plan, the restaurant on the first floor was enveloped in a thick layer of fog, the kind that could not be seen. 3 days is not too long. It just so happens that Li Xian still has time to practice cooking and go out to find a regular supplier of ingredients. During this period, he has to enter the food world to train himself, so time is tight. Li Xian took out the roasted whole pig steak and chewy pasta from the super backpack, and added the sauce that the roasted whole pig came with, and a pot of pork chop noodles is ready. Whoosh! The sound of eating noodles resounded through the restaurant on the second floor. Although Li Xian looked a bit rude, he was alone now, so he could come as he felt comfortable. Comfortable? After eating, Li Xian wiped his mouth and washed the tableware and chopsticks. The next step is to enter the chef space to practice the 5 recipes he won by lottery, and at the same time, he must improve his chef star. The 1-star chef himself can't afford the decoration plan of the restaurant he just chose. Besides, he still wants to set a high price, so not to mention that every dish must reach the luminous level, but at least 100% of the sold is required. More than 75. Li Xian also asked about the system. For luminous cuisine, it is actually the must-kill cuisine in this world, that is, the completion rate reaches 90%, and 60% of the completion is qualified, and the 75% set by myself is already very high. If every dish is 90%, that is, if it reaches the level of killing cooking, the first is that Li Xian will also be exhausted, and the energy invested will increase a lot. The second is that they are all at the level of luminous cuisine, and they are definitely not willing to set prices low. If they are high, there will be a lot fewer customers, which is not very good. So the scale of 75% should be considered just right. If someone has money and wants to try a higher grade, then Li Xian will naturally not refuse. Make money, it's not shabby. System, enter the god of cooking space. Li Xian's eyes flashed, and he entered a blank space, without any objects. The space can be arranged according to the host's requirements. Hearing the system's words, Li Xian's thoughts moved, and in an instant there was a battle of flavors when the young master took the exam for a special chef. Looking at the dazzling array of ingredients, this is a chef's paradise. In the middle of the duweichang is the stove, and there is a long table beside it, with all kinds of kitchen knives and chopping boards, as well as all kinds of condiments. Okay, now it's time to start practicing. Li Xian first picked up an apron and put it on, then washed his hands and stood in front of the shelf. These 5 recipes are, of course, from easy to difficult. According to the difficulty level, Li Xian's order is fried Qingjiang dish, fried rice with golden egg, shredded pork with green pepper, beef stew with burgundy red wine, and magic mapo tofu. A basket of Qingjiang vegetables was brought over from the stairs, and it seemed that they were washed in water one by one. In fact, Qingjiang dish is the sh green that we often eat. The green leaves, white petioles, and the shape of the waist are pleasing to the eye. Because it looks like a spoon, it is also called a spoon dish. The Qingjiang vegetables produced by the system have thick petioles, green and fresh leaves, and excellent quality. While washing the Qingjiang dish, Li Xian pondered that there are 2 difficulties in this stir-fried Qingjiang dish. One is the refreshing oil mixed with chicken oil and peanut oil, and the other is just the right heat. In fact, the first oil, Li Xian can also give up and not think about it. After all, the small master used this oil to get rid of the earthy smell in the water. Li Xian naturally did not have this trouble here. But I have to say that this kind of mixed oil adds a lot of flavor to this dish. The chicken oil in it belongs to meat oil, and the material fried in meat oil can make the material still have the taste of meat, and at the same time, it can ensure the greenness of Qingjiang vegetables to the greatest extent. The fresh and sweet taste brings out the aroma of Qingjiang cuisine. Therefore, if Li Xian wants to achieve the level of luminous cooking, then this clear oil must be blended, but the proportion is a bit difficult to control and requires a lot of experiments. The second point is the heat. For all kinds of vegetables, the right heat is the secret to ensuring the crispy taste of vegetables. If the heat is not enough, the raw vegetables are hard to swallow. If the heat is too high, the rotten petiole will also affect the taste. Except for the elderly with poor articulation, ordinary people eat the crispy and juicy food. There are no shortcuts for this, and you need to accumulate experience bit by bit. Li Xian has a smart voice input tablet on the side to record the time and the ratio of oil, and there is a large wall clock on the side. No way, I have to use this kind of stupid method to help myself before I have fully formed muscle memory at the beginning. Li Xian did not feel bored but started the operation with great interest. The proportion of peanut oil is high, which completely masks the taste of chicken oil. This time I'm a little conservative. The cooking time for Qingjiang dishes is not enough, and it needs to be increased. On the tablet, Li Xian kept recording his failures, and the completion of the stir-fried Qingjiang dishes continued to increase with the accumulation of experience. 30%, 41%, 50%, 55%, 63%, 70%, 77%, 86%, 89%. Thank you for watching Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.